International Women's Day gives us a really amazing opportunity to have a look at the state of women's rights worldwide, but also to consider the importance of solidarity.
It's increasingly being portrayed in the media, however, as a kind of a showcase for successful women, that this is something that we should emulate. But actually, the few baubles that they're showing us shouldn't blind us to the reality that the majority of women on the planet are suffering from poverty, violence and oppression.
1 billion women around the world experience some form of gender-based violence, rape, sexual abuse, domestic abuse.
I was really proud to be a part of an action last year which challenged Ireland's abortion laws by bringing illegal but safe abortion pills into the country.
This year, Rosa and other organisations I'd like to thank for taking part organised the Abortion Pill Train event. It was to highlight the hypocrisy of the ongoing 8th Amendment and the availability of these pills.
Women in this country face limited access to contraception. They face abortions at home alone, if they are lucky enough to avail of the abortion pill. They face arduous journeys overseas and indebtedness. They face stigma, shame and fear. They face forced C-sections and death. We are moving far too slowly and we've waited for far too long.
It is deeply disrespectful of women to say that we do not have control and charge of our own bodies, our own sexuality, our own reproduction. How dare anyone tell me what to do with my body? It's my body, myself, and I will do with it as I wish.
The whole scandal of the Eighth Amendment is not just its effect on individual women, but it's the institutionalisation of hypocrisy in this country. You can have information, sister. You can go on the boat as it was in the 90s, or now you can take the plane if you have the money.
And I say to Joan Borton, how dare you patronise us and call us your heroes? If we are your heroes, why have you got 63% of lone parents living in deprivation? How dare you say we're our heroes and treat them like that? And then you'll come into Jobestown and you want to be treated with respect. Well, you don't treat us with respect, Joan. You treat young working mothers, mine included, like the dirt off the end of your shoe.
I know women in this country who do not have the same rights, that it costs them hundreds of euros to go and see a doctor to get prescribed antidepressants, where they wait for months to actually get to see a counsellor or a psychologist to recover, or you have to travel hundreds of miles to get support from a rape crisis centre in this city.
Now, all of us here know there's not a snowball's chance in hell of the Labour Party being in government, because they're going to be obliterated in the next election. So they should salvage something and repeal the 8th Amendment now. The idea that the age of the bloody president is more important to have a referendum on than the 8th Amendment is absolutely shocking.
This should be our focus, to repeal an archaic, horrifically unjust amendment, which means that those of us who access abortion in Ireland today technically face up to 14 years in jail, longer than the average sentence for rape.
And we saw the extent of the hypocrisy in this country in the Dáil in recent times, where Sinn Féin couldn't do anything. Now, they couldn't do anything in '83 either, because they didn't recognise the Constitution. This time they couldn't do it because they hadn't decided what to do at an Ardèche. The Labour Party are an absolute disgrace. It will take a long time for the Labour Party to make up for what they did. I'm not sure they ever can, to be quite honest.
We need to win this referendum for marriage equality for all of the reasons. It's not that we love marriage, but we do want equality, and we also want to deal a blow to the Catholic Church in this country. Get yourselves out of people's personal lives.
And I am queer. I am very proudly queer, and I am proudly lesbian, and I am proudly fighting for marriage equality. Not, surprise, surprise, because I want to get married. I did that once. Didn't work, lasted 6 months, never again. But it is a sign, it is a symbol, it is about saying there is full equal recognition of LGBTQI people.
We know that Irish women have to fight so hard for equality all throughout history. And we don't have to look far back into our Irish history to look back into the Laundries and the Magdalene sisters and how young women who found themselves in a position outside marriage that they were pregnant and they were having babies. These babies were robbed from these women. They were imprisoned by the government and the church. They were sent into laundry homes, slave labour, and asked to work, made work for free.
Now, to give an idea of what symphysiotomy is, first and foremost, the pelvis was broken, and this woman, after her symphysiotomy, had to wait another 12 days before she delivered her baby. This is the horror that these women went through and the lifelong injuries that these women have endured are incontinence and difficulty walking.
It's very important that we reclaim what International Women's Day is about. It's not about having celebrity women, having Beyonce talking to us about feminism and women's equal rights, while they perpetuate a culture, a rape culture, which encourages violence against women and actually endorses it in so many ways.
And I ask women, because we have been brilliant at fighting lots of campaigns in our history, to get together, get out on your streets, get out on the marches, get out and talk to each other. Because we're not talking about water, we're talking about anti-austerity, oppression, working class people being stigmatised, being told that we're sponging and over-sponging from the state. Well, we say no. We say no to your oppression, no to your home tax, no to your water charges, no to your church and your state working together to oppress us. And we want to say yes to the amendment. Thank you. Happy International Women's Day.